These children in Asia and Africa are being immunized against polio. 2 drops of an oral vaccine is all it takes.
Oh, you got it now?
Yes, okay.
Knowing that we've had a vaccine for more than 50 years makes it really hard to accept this, that polio still haunts humankind. Many recall the 40s and 50s when the U.S. was in the grip of polio hysteria. Primarily affecting children, the virus killed, crippled, and forced thousands into iron lungs. Thanks to the Salk and Sabin vaccines of the mid-50s, though, this horrible disease began to disappear. Today, the world is 99% polio-free. But wiping out that last 1% is proving much more difficult than anyone imagined.
Very good.
Thankfully, a powerful new ally is now in the fight, Seattle's Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
We believe that every life counts. Every life counts and every child counts.
Linda Venzel is a senior program officer at the Gates Foundation. She leads a dedicated team of polio experts.
We stepped in as another partner almost in this fight against polio. So with UNICEF, with the WHO, and with CDC and Rotary, we're bringing forward what is, I think, renewed energy and excitement about this.
Recently, the Gates Foundation announced 2 of its largest grants in its history. $100 million in 2007 and another $255 million in early 2009, all for polio. And the money was given to Rotary International.
Rotary has been at it and been one of the core partners with polio eradication from the very beginning. More than 20 years, they basically took the initiative with the World Health Organization and UNICEF that this is something that can be done. And I think that that spirit speaks to the foundation and speaks to the kind of partner we'd like to have.
It was more than 2 decades ago that Rotary and 3 other international organizations launched the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. Back then, 125 countries battled polio, with 350,000 new cases every year. Now that number is down to about 2,000 cases in just 4 countries. Those final 4 are Nigeria, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. Health experts say as India goes, the rest of the world goes. They're really the key to global polio eradication because with the huge challenges here, if they can be overcome, then polio can be wiped out anywhere.
Every time they vaccinate, it's over 200 million children in India. So it's incredible, and they have very high vaccination rates.
That's an amazing accomplishment considering that the 2 Indian states where polio is concentrated, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, each see close to 8,000 babies born every day. Besides explosive population growth, India's other challenges include poor sanitation, rampant malnutrition, and children already weakened by other diseases. Perhaps no one wants a polio-free India more than Anil Garg. He immigrated from India to the U.S. in the 70s. Every year, he leads a team of fellow Rotarians to his homeland to vaccinate.
It is very rewarding to see that people from outside can come and help this country because the country is trying to help themselves. So all we are doing is just assisting them to meet their goals.
Local Rotarian Dr. Lee Harmon made the long trip from Seattle to join Anil's volunteer army.
Good boy. Excellent. Good boy.
It's hard not to be overwhelmed to come over here and see the scope of the problem and yet to see the depth of commitment.
India is deeply committed to banishing polio, and somehow they pull off enormous national campaigns despite the rough roads, pollution, chaos, and crowds.
And you have to see it, you have to experience it, have to live it, have to hear it. A still picture just doesn't do justice to what we're seeing here.
Out here on the rugged and remote front lines is where Gates Foundation dollars really translate into action. Dedicated vaccinators manage crowds, mark doors, walk vast distances, and even sing songs to get every child under 5 immunized. Nakul Prasad is a man who truly has earned the title polio warrior. He tirelessly strides up and down crowded railway platforms, vaccinating kids who are in transit. He checks for black ink on the little finger, a sign that the child's received the drops. If not, he vaccinates on the spot. At any given time, some 2 million children are on the move in Bihar, and Nakul Prasad's diligence helps keep them from falling through the cracks. Sometimes, despite India's coordinated efforts and strong will, polio persists. In one far-off village, we discover a little girl who was stricken 6 months ago. Sadly, Anil must explain to her grandmother there's no cure or treatment.
See, that's what keeps us coming, for us to keep coming back, till we can get rid of the last one.
Bill Gates himself has come to India to understand the challenges here firsthand. The Foundation's team is always looking for new strategies and tools to get the job done. Everyone wants a polio success story.
If we can't finish a job with polio with 2 drops with children, then some of the other dreams and some of the other important things we want to do in public health, I think, will be compromised. So we feel like it's almost our duty to help to finish this job.
And what about the criticism, though, that these gigantic polio grants should go to other, even deadlier diseases?
We don't see what would happen if we stopped. And if we stopped today and we stopped vaccinating and we stopped all these campaigns, we would go back to more than 350,000 cases of polio per year in a few years. That's just not acceptable.
No doubt the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is breathing new life into an important campaign that began decades ago. The time has certainly come for a world where this never happens again.
I think we could be so proud being here in Seattle, part of a global team that's actually touching the lives of all the children all over the world. And we can say that we were part of eradicating the second disease in this world and getting rid of this forever.